Casual here. Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood is not a great game, but I did enjoy playing it. Its gameplay elements had a lot of potential that were never fully developed. The overall experience felt like a game made 10 to 15 years ago, when you could get away with much shallower and simplistic gameplay. But what was there was fun. Let's get into this in more detail. When I think about werewolves, I think of a savage beast, a human lost to their base wild desires. It is the big difference between vampires and werewolves. We think of vampires as sophisticated and in control, while werewolves are lost to their bestial fury. So some of the design choices in this game feel a little odd. In this game, werewolves are protectors of the balance in nature, warriors of Gaia, the Greek personification of Earth as a goddess. I'm sure this is in line with the game's roots as a tabletop game, which I haven't played, but given the frenzied wrath of werewolves, I wasn't expecting it. There are a lot of environmental themes in this game. The storyline sees you fighting against a nefarious energy company, Endron. Seriously, Endron. I get that many people playing this game won't be old enough to remember the Enron fiasco that caused widespread blackouts in California. But was it that hard to think up a name for a company? Sorry, mini rant over. The gameplay loop is made up of 3 distinct parts: exploration, stealth, and bloody combat where you tear your enemies limb from limb. Clearly, one of these fits in well with the nature of the beast, but stealth was an interesting and surprising choice. All 3 of these parts are okay, but never feel fully developed. Exploration and the story is very linear indeed. In this mode you are searching for lost spirits. Finding these rewards you in spirit, which once you have collected enough rewards you with a spirit point. Given that your character Kahal drinks bottles of whiskey to increase his rage when fighting, there is a bit of an alcohol theme to this game. While this is at odds with the environmental warrior theme, it actually works, with Kahal always on the edge of losing control. Most of the lost spirits are located along your story path, which I think is a missed opportunity. With the skills of a werewolf, your ability to transform into a wolf to get into confined spaces, to jump great heights, your penumbra vision which highlights people and the electronics, the dichotomy of which I'm not even going to talk about. The developers could have made exploration into something really fun and challenging, Metroid Prime-like, with new abilities allowing you to access new areas of the game, but they didn't, and what is left feels a little lackluster. As you move through the zones, you come across rooms full of guards. Using your stealth skills, you can take down enemies, shoot cameras with your crossbow, or access terminals to open doors or disable cameras and turrets. It is quite fun working out the patrol patterns, sneakily eliminating enemies, using your wolf form to access ducts, and sabotaging reinforcement points. I did get a big sense of achievement when I cleared an entire room without triggering the combat, but there are aspects of the stealth that leave it far short of being a furry Metal Gear Solid. You have no ability to distract guards, so when you come across 2 together, or 2 looking at each other, it is almost impossible not to be spotted. If guards do spot you, they initially become curious, but if they see a dead body or find you, they will go on red alert. There is no option to move bodies to avoid that, and once the guards hit red alert, they never de-escalate, meaning that combat is inevitable. It is also worth mentioning that the crossbow does not make you the ultimate stealthy assassin. When you aim, you expose yourself to all the guards. Targeting does snap on initially, but if you break this, it is nigh impossible to aim the thing, so at best you'll be able to kill 1 guard at a time. You also can only carry 3 bolts, upgradable to 5, which means you run out of ammo very quickly. Finally, sabotaging the reinforcement points just doesn't work. The enemies still come out of them once combat starts, so what is the point of being able to do this? Bizarre. Onto the combat. Initially this felt like a bit of a button mash, spamming the same attack to take down the waves of guards. But as tougher enemies are introduced, the combat improved and I find myself stance swapping, using the agile stance to quickly eliminate the hordes of cannon fodder, avoid snipers firing silver bullets, and taking out enemies on higher levels, before swapping to the heavy stance to stand toe to toe with armoured foes. Certain abilities work best with different enemy types. While you don't have a block, you can dodge incoming attacks, bullets and explosions, while also using it to move around the map quickly. In boss fights, different approaches made a difference. While the self-healing and all-out damage of the heavy stance was more effective in some fights, the agile stance was more suited to others, its hidden run tactics allowing you to charge up your super, frenzy mode, where you become an unstoppable killing machine, to finish off the fight. Overall, the combat is reasonable. I didn't always feel 100% in control of the fight, which was not helped by a camera that struggled to keep up with the fast-paced action. But there is a satisfying sense of power as you smash the environment and your enemies apart in a bloody mess. I mentioned spirit points earlier. They're used in a skills tree that allows you to enhance your abilities. Again, this has been implemented in a very simple way. It's not character customization in the way we think about great RPGs now, but rather the old school way of doing skill trees, which enhance your existing skills, or add a couple of new combat moves without fundamentally changing how you play the game. And that is it. The gameplay loop is very repetitive. Explore, stealth, fight, and do it all again. And it doesn't change for the entire course of the game. Boss fights appear on a regular basis, but all of the mechanics are pretty similar and can be tackled in similar ways. This is a short game. I finished it in under 10 hours, I would guess, which was actually to the game's benefit, as it prevented me from getting bored of playing the same thing again and again. Graphics are dated, and in particular character models outside of Cahal lack detail. Animations during dialogue are hilariously out of sync with the emotion the characters are expressing, and the dialogue itself is cheesy and predictable. You are presented with dialogue options, but they have no impact on the game or the story until right at the very end of the game. Again, a relic of gameplay from 10 years ago. Dynamic storylines are now the staple of games, so while acceptable back then, it's lacking now. Sound effects and voice acting are okay. Music is typically death metal, something that werewolves always seem to be saddled with. Another thing that seems to be out of sync with the warrior of nature status of our heroes. I don't know how long this game was in development, but it feels like it was started 10 years ago, and the developers stuck to their guns on the game design, despite the changes to what we expect from a game now. This game should have been released as a budget game. All aspects of the game have potential but are underdeveloped. I didn't dislike playing it, indeed I had fun doing so, but I certainly wouldn't recommend you go out of your way to play it. Personally, I would wait for the price to drop before buying this one. At that point you can enjoy it for the simple game that it is, and revel in the destructive power of a werewolf. Thanks for taking the time to watch my video. I am early on in my journey to build a successful gaming channel, and every view helps, particularly yours. If you like this content, then please do check out my game reviews playlist for more videos just like this one, and hit the like button. Content on my channel focuses on first impressions, game reviews and game guides, so do subscribe to be notified about more content that I release on a regular basis. Until next time, casual out.